was a sunny and bright morning, and I was enjoying my daily cup of coffee while watching the news. The news was on in the background while I slowly sipped my coffee, enjoying the sweet flavor of the brew. One of the stories they were reporting on caught my eye though, and I pay more attention to it as they tell me about a new military base that has created realistic simulation technology for soldiers to train with. I listen intently to the news as they discuss the new military base and the cutting-edge simulator technology. I'm intrigued by the possibilities that such technology could bring to the military, and I continue listening to the report as I take another sip of my coffee. As the news report continues, I learn more about how the technology is being used and how it's specifically designed to recreate realistic battles and combat situations for soldiers to train in. I feel impressed by the level of detail and accuracy of the simulations, and I start to brainstorm what kind of applications they may have. I listen in as the news report delves deeper into the different aspects of the technology. Apparently, the training simulations are so lifelike that soldiers can engage in mock battles and exercises that are almost indistinguishable from real-life combat. I feel a sense of excitement at the thought of such incredible realism. I continue listening to the news when suddenly my phone rings, and I'm brought back to the present. I look at the caller ID and see that it's a familiar number, so I pick up the phone and answer it. I see that the caller is my best friend, Michael Brooks, a U.S. Navy soldier. I smile and answer the call, glad to hear from my buddy. I pick up the phone and greet Michael. Hey bro, what's up?
Good to hear from you.
Michael's familiar voice comes through the phone as I greet him. Hey buddy, just wanted to check in on you. How's it going?
I lean back in my seat and reply, I'm good, man. Just enjoying my morning coffee and watching the news. What about you?
How's the Navy life treating you? Michael starts to recount the highlight of his day, which apparently involved going tornado chasing. I listen intently as he describes the experience, from the excitement of the chase to the thrill of witnessing a tornado up close. Michael continued to describe the experience, and he told me how he got chased home by an EF5 tornado that transformed into a massive mega tornado. I listen with a mix of awe and disbelief, amazed at the danger and intensity of his tale. Michael then asks if I want to join him on his tornado chasing adventure again today. I'm both excited and a bit nervous at the prospect, but I trust my friend and his experience, so I agree to go with him. I respond with a slight hesitation but ultimate agree. Yeah man, why not? Let's do it. Just don't get me into anything too crazy, alright? Michael laughs and reassured me. Don't worry buddy, I got this. We'll be fine. Just strap in and get ready for the ride of your life. I chuckle nervously but try to keep it cool. Michael's confident attitude is contagious, and I can't help but feel excited to go on this adventure with my buddy. After the call ends, I take a moment to process what I had agreed to. I'm feeling a mix of excitement and nervousness, but at the same time, I trust my friend, Michael's experience. I knew it would be a thrill to witness tornadoes up close, and I couldn't wait to embark on this daring adventure with him. I head to my room to gear up for the adventure. I quickly put on my military gear, including my helmet, body camera, and tactical gloves. I want to be as prepared as possible for whatever might come our way, so I make sure everything is securely in place before heading out the door. I wait outside my home, feeling the excitement and anticipation building up inside me. I glance at my watch and wait for Michael to arrive, tapping my foot nervously as I think about the adventure we're about to embark on. I spot Michael's military truck as he pulls up to my house, and I feel a surge of excitement as he hops out and greets me. I approach the truck and admire the powerful vehicle, feeling a sense of respect and anticipation. Michael gives me a wave as I approach the truck, and I can see the excitement in his eyes as he greets me. Hey buddy, you ready for this adventure? We look at the radar screen on the computer dashboard, checking the weather patterns and the movement of any potential tornadoes. I study the map carefully, trying to get a sense of the conditions we'll be facing. As we scan the map, I spot a storm system on the radar about 6 hours away, located outside of town. I point it out to Michael. Hey, looks like there's a storm up ahead about 6 hours away. Could be a good spot to catch some action. Michael glances at the radar and sees the same storm system I spotted. He grins and seems pleased with the discovery. Jackpot! That looks like a perfect spot to catch some tornadoes. Let's head in that direction. We
We rev up the engine and head north, the powerful truck chugging along the highway.
The excitement is palpable, and I can feel my heart racing in my chest as we get closer and closer to the location of the storm system. The hours pass quickly as we drive north towards the storm system. The anticipation in the air is thick, and I can feel my heart pounding with excitement. I look out the window and see the scenery of rural America flying by, the vast open spaces and endless sky stretching out in front of us. As we enter the storm, the atmosphere becomes intense and nerve-wracking. The sky darkens and the wind picks up, buffeting the truck mercilessly. The rain falls heavily, and I can feel the tension building in the air. I glance over at Michael, and I can see the look of concentration on his face as he steers us through the storm. The storm is brutal, and we're both feeling the effects of the powerful winds and rain. But we press on, adrenaline fueling our determination to find a tornado and get the ultimate footage. I grip the edge of my seat, feeling my heart pounding against my chest as the storm rages around us. We drive through the curtains of rain and finally emerge on the other side. The storm is still raging around us, but we pull over to the side of the road to get a better view of the surroundings.
I scan the horizon, searching for any signs of a tornado.
The air is filled with a sense of anticipation, and every sense is heightened as we wait for the telltale signs of a twister. I spot the tornado forming in the field to the east side of the road. I quickly point it out to Michael, my voice filled with excitement and urgency. Michael, look! Over there! I see a tornado forming! Michael quickly turns his gaze to where I'm pointing, and his expression betrays his own excitement. The tornado is still forming, but we can see the ominous swirling of the winds and the funnel cloud beginning to take shape.
The tornado continues to gain strength, its funnel cloud descending down to the ground and kicking up a massive cloud of dirt and debris. The sight is both awe-inspiring and terrifying, as we know the power of the twister that's unfolding before us.
The dirt and debris are being sucked up into the funnel cloud, creating a massive dust storm around the tornado. I can feel my heart racing as I watch the spectacle unfolding in front of me, knowing the sheer power and force of the twister that's only getting stronger by the minute. As we continue to watch the tornado, it picks up speed and starts tearing through the landscape. I can hear the sound of foliage being ripped up and trees being thrown aside as the twister continues to gain strength.
Instinctively, we both start filming, capturing the raw power and fury of the tornado on camera.
The tornado is now picking up anything and everything in its path, from small bushes to tall trees. The power of the storm is awe-inspiring and terrifying at the same time, and our hearts are racing as we film the incredible scene unfolding before our eyes. I glance over at Michael. His eyes are locked on the tornado as he continues to film.
I'm doing the same, trying to capture every moment and angle of the powerful storm.
The adrenaline is pumping through my veins, and I can feel the excitement and fear surging through my body.
The tornado continues to barrel through the field, carving a path of destruction in its wake.
The sounds of the storm are deafening, the wind howling and the trees and debris being tossed around with incredible force. I keep filming, capturing every moment on camera, my heart racing with excitement and fear.
I watch as the tornado tears through some nearby trees, uprooting them and shredding them apart.
It also rips through a nearby fence like it's made of paper. The power of the storm is staggering, and we both know we're witnessing something truly awe-inspiring and dangerous at the same time. As the twister continues its rampage, I notice the debris spinning around in the funnel of the storm. The spinning debris looks like a menacing vortex of destruction, and it adds to the incredible and frightening nature of the storm. I continue filming, entranced by the power and beauty of the tornado. The tornado continues its destructive path, crossing over a road and slamming into a stand of trees. We watch as the trees are uprooted and thrown around like they're toys, and a nearby tractor with a mile-long farming sprinkler is toppled over as the storm barrels through its path.
The tornado then hits an abandoned house, tearing off the roof in a deafening roar of wind and debris.
The violence of the storm is awe-inspiring and terrifying at the same time, and we watch in shock and amazement as the house is torn apart by the powerful forces of nature. As the tornado barrels into a cornfield, it begins to rip up crops as if it's having a meal. The powerful winds sweep through the rows of corn, uprooting and shredding the plants as if they were little more than stalks of grass. The sight of the tornado feasting on the crops is both fascinating and horrifying, as we realize the sheer power and force of the storm. The wind and debris are still howling all around us, and I continue to film the incredible scene unfolding before us. We watch in awe as the tornado moves through the cornfield, leaving a trail of destruction in its wake. The sight of the storm tearing up crops and uprooting trees is awe-inspiring and humbling at the same time, reminding us of the power of nature and the importance of respecting its fury. I glance over at Michael, and I can see the adrenaline in his eyes. He's just as captivated by the power and fury of the storm as I am, and we both know we're witnessing something extraordinary and awe-inspiring. The tornado then barrels into a nearby barn, slamming into it with incredible force. The structure is no match for the power of the storm, and it's ripped apart in a violent display of nature's fury. As we watch in shock, the roof of the barn is torn up, and the walls begin to be ripped up by the powerful forces of the storm. The sight is both awe-inspiring and tragic, as we realize the destruction that a twister can cause in a matter of seconds. As the tornado continues to tear apart the barn, the parts of the structure begin to spin around in the vortex, creating a mesmerizing and destructive spectacle. The sight of the debris spinning around in the funnel is both beautiful and terrifying, and I keep filming, trying to capture every moment of the incredible storm. After what seemed like an eternity, the tornado finally begins to die out. The fierce winds and debris begin to subside, and the sky gradually clears. We watch as the funnel cloud dissipates, and the twister slowly fades away. I exhale deeply, feeling a mixture of relief and adrenaline coursing through my veins. That was an incredible experience, and one I'll never forget. I turn to Michael, and I can see the same look of awe and excitement in his eyes that I'm feeling. I reach over and high-five Michael, feeling the rush of adrenaline and excitement still coursing through my body. We both know we'll never forget this experience, and we exchange a look of pure excitement and awe at what we just witnessed. We turn our attention to the radar on the dashboard, scanning the map for another sign of a storm system. I feel the excitement and adrenaline still coursing through my body, and I'm eager to witness another spectacle, like the one we just saw. We spot a storm system about 6 miles east from our current location. I pointed out to Michael, feeling the excitement building up inside me. The thought of witnessing another powerful storm, and possibly another tornado, is exhilarating. We set off in the direction of the storm, driving as fast as we safely can to reach its location. I can feel my heart racing in my chest, and I know Michael feels the same adrenaline coursing through his veins as we both anticipate what's to come. As we approach the storm, the sky starts to darken, and we can see the ominous clouds building up in the distance. The air is charged with a sense of anticipation, and I feel my heart racing even faster at the thought of what we might witness. We enter the storm, and I keep a close eye on the radar. According to the predictions, the storm is expected to spawn an EF2 tornado. The knowledge that we could witness another powerful twister only heightens the excitement and adrenaline pumping through my veins. I glance at Michael as we enter the storm, noticing the absence of rain. Without the rain, we can actually get out of the truck to better observe and film the tornado. The air is charged with excitement and anticipation as we prepare to get out of the vehicle and capture the storm in action. I open the door and feel the cool night air on my face as I step out of the truck. The sky is filled with lightning, casting an eerie light over the landscape. I can feel my heart racing as Michael joins me beside the truck, both of us eagerly preparing to film the powerful storm that's about to unfold before our eyes. We step out of the truck and look around, taking in the scenery. The sky is alive with lightning, the flashes illuminating the dark landscape around us. I set up the camera and microphone, making sure everything is in place and ready to go as I prepare to capture the storm in all its fury. I notice Michael doing the same, getting his camera ready and making sure he has the perfect vantage point to film the incoming tornado. We exchange an excited glance, knowing this is it, the moment we've been waiting for. I spot the tornado forming in the field on the south side of the road. It's still in its early stages, but the funnel cloud is beginning to descend from the clouds. My heart races as I begin to film, eager to record every moment of the spectacle unfolding before us. The tornado hits the ground, and it immediately begins tearing up the plants in the field. The
furious wind and debris create a scene reminiscent of the previous twister we witnessed, but this one feels even closer, more intense. I keep the camera firmly trained on the storm, capturing every moment of its power and fury.
The sounds of the storm are deafening. The howling winds and the sound of uprooted trees and other debris are both terrifying and awe-inspiring at the same time. I glance over at Michael, and I can see him filming intently, his camera following the movement of the tornado. The energy he's putting into capturing this storm is both impressive and infectious, and it only adds to the adrenaline pumping through my own veins. The tornado suddenly changes course and heads towards an old warehouse in the distance. It hits the building with incredible force, tearing off the roof and walls like they're made of paper. The sight is both awe-inspiring and horrifying at the same time, as we watch the destruction unfold before our eyes. I continue filming, my heart racing at the sight of the tornado tearing through the warehouse. I can't believe what I'm witnessing. The sheer power and force of the storm is both terrifying and mesmerizing at the same time. The roof is torn off the warehouse and thrown into the air, followed by other parts of the building being ripped off and spun around in the funnel of the twister. The sheer power of the storm is on full display, and we're witnessing its ability to level buildings in a matter of seconds. The roaring wind of the tornado is deafening, and it sounds like a giant freight train barreling through the area. The sheer force and power of the storm is awe-inspiring, and it's hard to believe that we're witnessing such a powerful natural phenomenon up close and personal. We watch in awe as the tornado continues its rampage through the area, leaving a trail of destruction in its path. The scene is both beautiful and terrifying at the same time, and I can feel the adrenaline and excitement coursing through my veins as I capture every moment of the incredible storm on camera. The tornado suddenly changes direction and heads towards an old abandoned store. The force of the storm tears off the roof and walls of the building like they're made of paper. We watch in awe as the structure is torn apart, and it's clear that nothing can stand in the path of this powerful tornado. The tornado then moves on to the next building, an old abandoned post office. The structure is no match for the storm, and it's torn apart in seconds, leaving a pile of rubble behind. The sight is both fascinating and tragic, and we continue to film every moment of the storm's destructive path. As the tornado moves further away, we quickly hop back into the truck and start following it. We can't afford to lose sight of this powerful storm. I keep the camera rolling, eager to capture every moment of this incredible spectacle. I drive as fast as I can to catch up to the tornado, my eyes darting between the road and the storm ahead. The adrenaline is pumping through my body, and I can feel the excitement building as we get closer to the twister. As we continue to follow the tornado, we watch as it slams into more abandoned buildings, tearing off rooftops and walls with ease. We see tall grass being torn up, trees being uprooted, and other things being lifted into the air and spun around in the vortex. The path of destruction left behind by the tornado is incredible, and we can't believe the power and force of the storm we're witnessing. We keep the truck moving, following the tornado as it continues its rampage through the area, leaving a trail of devastation in its place. I glance at Michael, and I can see the same look of awe and excitement in his eyes that I'm feeling. It's hard to believe that we're witnessing such an incredible and powerful storm up close and personal. The adrenaline coursing through our veins is intense, and we're both eager to see what the twister will do next. The tornado then cut through a field of sunflowers, uprooting the tall stalks and scattering petals everywhere. It then slammed into an old farm, tearing apart the buildings and causing chaos to the surrounding land. We watch in awe as the storm continues its path of destruction, leaving a trail of debris and wreckage behind. The sight is both impressive and terrifying at the same time, and we can't believe we're witnessing such a powerful force of nature firsthand. The storm tore apart the farmhouse and the barn, leaving nothing but rubble behind. The tractors were thrown around like toys, and the fences were ripped up like they were made of paper. The sight was nothing short of incredible, and we continue to film the tornado as it continues its destructive path. The tornado continued its rampage through the trees and fields, uprooting everything in its path. It then crossed another road before heading into an abandoned town. The sight of the town, with its empty buildings and desolate streets, is both eerie and majestic at the same time.
The buildings in the town were old and dirty, covered in overgrowth and decay. However, the tornado had no regard for their deteriorated state, and it began tearing them up with ease, ripping off roofs and crumbling walls as if they were made of sand. We watch in awe as the tornado tears through the abandoned town, leaving a trail of crumbled buildings and piles of debris in its wake. The sight is both beautiful and tragic, as we realize the power of nature and the toll it can take on humanity's creations. As the tornado cut through the abandoned town, we witnessed the destruction firsthand. Roofs are ripped off, walls torn up, and other parts of the buildings are spun and thrown around in the vortex with incredible force. The storm is ruthless, leaving nothing untouched in its path. The old, abandoned cars that were left behind by the town's previous residents were also swept up by the tornado. They were tossed around like toys, some even being lifted into the air and flying through the air as the tornado continued its relentless assault on the town's buildings. We can't believe the sheer power of the storm as we watch the abandoned cars swirl around in the vortex, being flung around with incredible force. The path of destruction left behind is incredible, and we can only imagine the damage the twister would cause if it hit a populated area. As we continue to follow the tornado, we see even more abandoned cars swept up by the storm's vortex. They are lifted into the air and flung around like toys, while the abandoned buildings are destroyed by the storm's relentless force. The sight is both awe-inspiring and devastating at the same time. The tornado finally moved out of the abandoned town and into another nearby field. It continued its rampage for a brief moment, lifting up loose objects and tossing them around in its powerful vortex. However, it soon began to weaken and died out in the field, leaving a trail of debris and destruction in its wake. We stand there, watching as the tornado finally dies out in the field.
The adrenaline that had been coursing through our veins begins to subside, and we realize that we just witnessed one of the most powerful and incredible storms of our lives. We exchange a look of disbelief and excitement, knowing that we've been part of something truly extraordinary. The experience has left us both exhilarated and in awe of the power and force of Mother Nature. We let out a cheer and high-five each other, sharing a moment of excitement and triumph over what we've just witnessed.
We can't believe we've experienced such an incredible event firsthand, and it's a moment we'll never forget.
As the adrenaline begins to fade, we take a moment to reflect on the experience we've just had. We realize that we've just witnessed the sheer power and might of nature firsthand, and it's left us both humbled and exhilarated at the same time.
We take a few moments to relax, taking some deep breaths to calm down after the intense experience we just had. Nevertheless, we are still pumped up and excited for the next storm, eager to capture another incredible natural phenomenon on camera.